Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Why is the middle class shrinking? Why are people facing an affordability crisis while marginalized individuals called informals grow in numbers? Join me as I travel the world, speaking with people living in invisibility, the leaders working to solve it, and uncovering the hard truths shaping our economy and daily reality.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Excuse me! Taxi! Come on, what are you doing?
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
I was oblivious to the Kentucky Derby. And a big surprise win, right? You want to hear the race? I actually haven't heard it. Cut 8, if you don't mind. This is the Kentucky Derby. I've been to Louisville, or as they say it there, Louisville. It's Louisville. They got that crazy hotel, the Seelbach Hotel. Very, very nice place. And I don't have much else to say about Kentucky, other than they got the Derby there. Now, is the trainer a woman, also the jockey? It sounds like it's a different job. Did you notice some of the other lame names? Litmus test? Emerging markets? Oh, come here, little emerging markets. Yes, oh, litmus test. I love you. You want some sugar? You want a carrot? That's not a good name for a horse. Golden Tempo is even a little bit off, right? There's something a little bit... all right, now here's the person talking about it. Now, I need to know, is this the jockey or is this the trainer or both? Cut 9, please. Cut 9.
Rita Vo is with nephew Maverick, daughter Reagan, husband David, sister Adrian, and for you, family is everything. This race has been everything. You're the first woman to train the winner of a Kentucky Derby winner. Breathe it in and try and tell me how it feels.
I don't even have any words right now. I just can't. Just so happy for Golden Tempo. Jose did a wonderful job, masterful job at getting him there. He's so far out of it, and he has had so much faith in this horse. And I want to say thank you to the team of St. Elias and Phipps Stable for giving me the opportunity to be here.
This is a great historic ownership stable who have so much history in this race. You're breaking history today. What does that mean to you? I honestly don't know. I'm glad that I could be a representative of all women everywhere, that we can do anything we set our minds to. Here. And you've been a fantastic tribune for that these last few years. When you were watching the early stages of the race, Cherie, he was dead last. What was going through your mind?
I was actually more focused on the pace that was in front of him. There was plenty in front. And I was just hoping Jose'd work a trip out when they all started coming back to him at the top of the stretch.
Congratulations. Women can't do everything. Why didn't she ride the horse? Some guy named Jose did it. A man won that race. No, sorry. I don't know enough about racehorsing, but good for her. 800-848-9222. 800-848-9222. The other thing we got going here is the great big governor's race in California. Whatever happened to Swalwell? Nobody talks about that guy anymore. I thought he was under investigation. The FBI, the accusers, the women. He got out of the race. That's all they cared about. Get that man out of the race and everything else is going to be fine. Ooh, I almost forgot to tell you guys. I interviewed the astronauts, all 4 of them. And let's see if we can grab that, if you don't mind, from Friday, okay? It was a wonderful conversation. I met the Reed Wiseman, the commander. I met the pilot, Victor Glover. I met Christina Koch, mission specialist, and Jeremy Hansen, mission specialist from Canada. And I got to tell you, I'm very proud of this interview because I have a feeling that they were getting a little bit sick of interviews, right? And quite frankly, people from television ask dopey questions. They're just, most of them are too busy looking at themselves in the mirror to sit around and wonder about anything that actually was cool or doesn't have to do with them. And I could just tell they had the questions were interesting. You know, an interview like that, you just sit down, you gotta, no interview is pure, right? I mean, a lot of times there are questions that you have to ask that are news-related questions. Then there are questions that you think you should ask. And then there are questions you think the audience wants you to ask. And then there are questions that you think will possibly help you on social media. And then there are questions that you think actually might win over the guest, or maybe you don't want to win over the guest. Maybe you want to antagonize the guest, and maybe you're fearful of their social media following. Could that be sicked upon you if you don't treat this right? I'm telling you, there's all kinds of crazy hoops that most people jump through when it comes time to sit down and interview. And unfortunately for most of them, the truth is not on the agenda. Okay, it can be a very selfish thing. But for me, this was absolutely pure. I just said, all right, what do I want to know? What are the genuine questions I want to know the answer to? And I came up with a list. And I think they liked it. I know they liked it. But that, quite frankly, wasn't the objective. Although I did want them to have a good time. And I did not want them to be bored. Right? These astronauts, they're brilliant. They're just totally brilliant. Hey, one little thing I got right. Their names. You'd be surprised how many people botch their names. I didn't need a piece of paper or a note card or anything like that. I knew each of their names. I knew how to pronounce their names. You'd be surprised how often that gets botched. And it's a beautiful conversation that I'm just so proud of. I'm going to go ahead and put it up online. We'll also try to get it back once we come back from the break. I think you're going to like it. Is it true that the mayor is really going to boycott the Israel parade? Is this a real thing? Cut 5, please. Cut 5.
Every year in about May or June, there's a wonderful event in New York called the Celebrate Israel Parade or the Israel Day Parade. Invariably, at the front of the parade, you have the mayor of New York, you have other politicians, governors, and so on. The parade it's a wonderful day. People march up Fifth Avenue.
Yes,
you have children from a lot of the yeshivas and school, all kinds of schools. You have non-Jewish supporters of Israel. I think I've read that you had something like 100,000 people marching and like a million people watching the parade, or watching this parade. It started in 1964 when Mayor Wagner was the mayor of New York. He marched in it from the first. President Lyndon Johnson sent his daughter to march in it. Zero Mostel.
I didn't know any of that.
Zero Mostel marched in it.
It's a huge deal.
And every single mayor of New York has marched in the parade.
Except
Mamdani is saying that he won't. And by the way, in his 2021 demonstrations, and there were several in addition to, him appearing with this horrible group within our lifetime, he criticized the politicians and the officials who march in the Israel Day Parade.
Well, he doesn't like Israel, and he doesn't like Jews. It's not because there's a scheduling conflict or anything like that. The parade is the parade. It's really more important the horrible positions that he holds. Now, you could get away with just focusing on local, but this is part of his thing, sticking it to Israel and sticking it to the Jews. What a bad situation we're in. All right, stand by, 800-848-9222. I mean, in terms of mayors and that kind of thing, and as Rudy is in health trouble, just think about what we have now, huh? What a disgrace. Be right back.
Sacco and Feliz, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFeliz.com. SACCOFILLAS.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.